In this video, we're going to be going over an ethical concept in business that has come up in the past decade or so called the triple bottom line. And this is a way for businesses to be more ethical in the way that they operate. So it's based off of this term called the bottom line, if you've heard that before. So what the bottom line is, it's an item on the company's... So what the traditional bottom line is, it's found on a company's income statement. It's at the very bottom. It's the bottom line of this statement that shows a company's profits, whether they made money that year or whether they lost money that year. And there's this capitalist idea in a traditional capitalist society that companies pursuing profits leads to a better society, and that the cost of a business only exists on the economy. But the triple bottom line tries to argue against that a little bit. It says that profits aren't the only thing businesses should be concerned about to make a better society. They should also be prioritizing people and planet. So I got those 3 P's there: profit, people, and planet. And if you can do that, you can be an ethical business, and we can lead to a better world. So we lead to better economies with our profits, we lead to better societies with the people, and a better earth with the planet. So let's talk about each of them. So I'm going to start with profit, because that's generally what traditional capitalism concerns itself with. So I listed a couple terms here: macroeconomics and microeconomics. You don't really need to know what those are for this course, but macroeconomics essentially means large economy. So think across the country, and microeconomics are local economies. So think of industries, or even as close down as cities. So some of the things we need to think about in macroeconomics for our profit are things like unemployment, this term called GDP, which is essentially how much an economy for a country is worth, in a sense, in very basic terms, how much a country's economy is worth. And you need to concern yourself with economic growth. Is our economy growing, or is it shrinking? Are we in a recession? And then we have some microeconomic things in here: supply and demand. How much supply is there of specific products or services, and how much are people demanding it, right? That affects price levels and all this stuff. How much competition is there, right, in specific industries or specific sectors of our economy? And then the flow of goods and services. How accessible are goods and services in a specific, maybe even as far down as a community, right? There's places in Canada where they don't even have clean drinking water. Meanwhile, other places in Canada, we get Amazon packages same day, right? So, flow of goods and services. Next, let's talk about people. And again, this has to do with society. Businesses should prioritize people in society to be more ethical. So we have things like stakeholders of the company itself that they should be looking out for. So businesses should look out for their employees, right? Make sure that they are well taken care of, that they're safe when they're working, that they're getting paid a living wage, all that kind of things. For our customers, making sure that we aren't scamming them, first of all, right? But just that we're giving them the best experience that we can as a business. And then, of course, general society as a whole. And that's when we start to get into the social issues, things like human rights, right? Anti-discrimination, that sort of thing. Racism, sexism, SOGI, right? Sexual orientation and gender identity issues, poverty, homelessness, all of those kinds of social issues. Businesses have a lot of power at starting to combat those issues. And then, of course, we have our last P, which is planet. And businesses should concern themselves with a whole bunch of environmental issues, because businesses are the cause of some, or at least they help perpetuate some of these environmental issues. So things like pollution. How is our manufacturing doing in terms of carbon emissions, right? Things like that. Resource extraction. To make all of these products, we're taking a lot from the environment, cardboard boxes from the trees, plastics, oil, right? All of that stuff. Businesses have a huge impact on that. Things like ethical sourcing. So if we are sourcing, let's just say food, we're in a food or a restaurant business, we are sourcing our food from ethical and sustainable farmers. Deforestation, urbanization, ecosystem disruption, climate change, all of these things businesses have the power to combat and deal with. And the last thing I just want to leave with this whole triple bottom line concept is that if you want a big impact, if you want big profits, if you want to impact society, if you want to positively affect change with our environment, you gotta do great things. You want big impact? Do great things.